Hi, my name is Liz Grasher, and I'm excited to be here today to teach a fun, all levels vinyasa flow. I will be showing modifications as we move, so please listen to your body and your mind as we practice today on the mat. But before we get started, I'd just like to take a few moments to settle in the mind and the body. If you'd like to join me, you can leave the eyes open. You could close the eyes or simply lower the gaze. I'm in a comfortable cross-legged position, but you're welcome to lie on the back, maybe take a seat against a wall. And when you find yourself settled in whatever position you have found today, I encourage you to tune inward. Simply noticing in the body. This may begin with the breath. Noticing your inhale and then your exhale. As we sit or lie and tune into the body, I encourage you to allow the breath to move and flow. You may begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. You may begin to notice the shoulders releasing, or maybe the jaw. Continue to allow the breath to move in and out of the body. Moving much like an ocean wave. Inhaling, rolling in, and then exhaling, releasing back out. If you'd like, you can also set an intention for your practice today. What is it that brought you to the mat or to this class? It might be to have a good stretch, or maybe there's something more that you may be looking for. Calm, peace, or balance. Taking a moment to think about what that is you may be looking for. I frequently think of peace. May I speak, think, hear, and feel peace. Take a moment allowing your mantra, your intention to settle in the body and the mind. And possibly imagine breathing that in, bringing it into your awareness with the breath. And then slowly exhale and release. Let's do 2 more breath cycles just like this with your own unique breath rhythm. Inhaling and exhaling. I want to remind you that you're welcome to stay here with the eyes closed, focusing on the breath. But if you'd like to join us in our yoga practice today, you can start to open the eyes, maybe bringing an awareness to the room, to colors or shapes. You can try blinking the eyes, and you can roll those shoulders. To get started today, I thought it might be nice to start with the wrists. So I'm going to face your direction, And starting in our traditional cat-cow and tabletop position, my fingers are spread nice and wide. My shoulders are in line with my wrists, and my hips are in line with my knees. And let's just bring some movement forward and back slowly here. Gaze down. My neck is in line with my spine. And then from here, if it's an option, starting to move the wrists to the side. Again, see how that feels. Listen to your body. And then from here, I'm going to bring some movement to the right and the left. Again, just very gently here, small movements. Again, you're welcome to stay here, or if it's an option, starting to move the wrist and the fingers to face you. Again, only if this is comfortable. Micro bend there in the elbows, remembering the hands can stay to the side. And if you'd like, just moving forward and back, just very, very gently here. Maybe noticing a release in the wrists and the arms. I know many of us are spending long hours on Zoom or Teams and the internet, working out those wrists. And then slowly, when you're ready with your exhale, once again, moving the wrist to the side and just bringing some movement side to side. My elbows are bent. And then when you're ready, moving the fingers facing forward. Now I'm going to show some variations here. Please find what works for you. So I'm going to keep my left finger still on the mat, and then I'm just going to bring that hand behind. So I have my wrist now and my hand on the mat, and I have the left hand flat. I'm just going to move forward and back just very gently here. Again, just working out in the wrists. Only go to what feels comfortable for you. I don't want you to hyperextend. But again, you may just feel a release here in the wrists, in the hands, and in the arm. One last time. And on an exhale, let's go ahead and release the right hand to the mat. This time, right hand on the mat, and then if you'd like, with the left, fingertips facing the palm forward, back of the hand on the mat, my right hand firmly placed, fingers spread wide, and again, just rolling back and forth gently. If this is not an option, please feel free to take a traditional cat-cow or keep your fingers facing forward. We'll do this a few more times with your breath. One last time back. And then on your exhale, let's go ahead and place both hands firmly on the mat. Again, remembering you're welcome to stay there if that's more comfortable. Preparing for cat-cow, taking our traditional tabletop position once again, checking for the alignment of the knees and the hips and the wrists and the shoulders. I'm going to inhale, looking up. And then exhale, release like a Halloween cat, pushing away with the hands. I'm going to do this one more time, and then I'm going to encourage you to bring movement to the body. What is it that you need today to work out in the spine or the neck? So if you'd like, you can bring some movement side to side and sway. You can move the neck side to side with the body. Just finding your own rhythm here. You can also take our traditional cat-cow if that's more comfortable. Let's just release here for a few moments, continuing to breathe, inhaling and exhaling. When you're ready, finding yourself once again in our traditional tabletop position, flat back. Preparing for our first downward facing dog, I'm going to take a series with this to warm the body. So I'm going to go ahead rolling on those toes, and on an exhale coming into downward facing dog, remembering that you can stay in tabletop if that's more comfortable. Shoulders out of the ears, and gentle reminder that the entire foot does not have to touch the mat. From here, I'm going to bend my right and my left knee. Feel free to bring some movement to the hips. Just releasing. Let's do 2 more breath cycles here. Inhaling and exhaling. On your second exhale, coming back to a tabletop position, you're welcome to stay here or join me in child's pose, exhaling back. So forehead's on the mat. If this does not feel comfortable, coming back onto the heels, again, reminder that you can bring a wider stance here, okay, with the knees, bringing them to the outside of the mat. And another option, if you'd still like to feel a difference in those fingers and work those wrists out, coming up onto spider fingers, noticing if you don't feel more of a stretch here in the shoulder as you do that. Inhaling and exhaling here. Let's do one more. Inhale. Slow and steady exhale. And then once again, coming back to our tabletop position. Inhaling here. Exhale, flexing those toes. Once again, downward facing dog. We're going to move through this series this time and one more, so 2 more times. This time, you're welcome to continue to walk the dog, or if you'd like, on an inhale, coming up onto the toes, and on an exhale, releasing. So we inhale up, and then exhale, release. I'm going to do this one more time, and then I'm going to show another variation that you're welcome to try. This time, I'm going to inhale up. And if you'd like to try, exhale and just hover the knees. You're going to feel this possibly in the abs, maybe in the legs. And then on your exhale, coming back into downward facing dog. Let's try that one more time. Inhaling up onto the toes. And then if you'd like, on an exhale, just hovering those knees. Once again, maybe feeling this in the abs, starting to feel some heat in the body. In stillness, there's still strength. Exhaling back. And then once again, coming to our tabletop position. And once again, exhaling back, child's pose. In this child's pose, we're starting to create a little heat in the body. You're welcome to move side to side if that feels comfortable for you. Hands can be flat. You can also place the hands and the fingers up into spider fingers if that's more comfortable. We're going to move through this one last time. So when you're ready, on an inhale, coming back to a tabletop position, preparing for that exhale, flexing those toes, releasing into downward facing dog, once again, inverted V. This time, if you'd like, I'm going to try 3-legged dog on both sides. So I have my left foot firmly placed on the mat, and I'm going to inhale that right leg high. And then on an exhale, bringing that foot back to the mat. This time preparing for the other side, right foot firmly placed on the mat. Inhaling that left leg high, micro bend in the knee is fine. And then exhaling that down. This can also be done from tabletop position if this is not an option. Let's do this one more time, each side. Left foot on the mat, inhaling right leg high. You can even try if you'd like, working out those toes or maybe the ankle. On your exhale, releasing that leg back to the mat. Right foot on the mat, inhaling left leg high. And once again, if you'd like, just bringing some movement to the ankles or the toes. Inhaling here, and on an exhale, releasing down. And once again, coming to our tabletop position, bringing movement, exhaling back into child's pose. Forehead on the mat. If it doesn't touch, that is fine. You're welcome to place a block. Inhaling and exhaling here. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale, and then our next inhale, coming to our tabletop position. Exhaling, downward facing dog, this time bringing some different movement. I'm going to walk my hands to my feet. Remembering if my fingers do not touch the mat, that's fine. You're welcome to place them on the shins or even bring a micro bend to the knee. Those are all great options.
But if you'd like, and the hands touch or they're on the shins, you could try bringing some movement right and left. You could shake the head yes or no. And you could try ragdoll, placing the hands just very gently there on the elbows and just sway right and left, side to side. As you do this, I encourage you to notice the four corners of your feet, big toe, baby toe, and the inside and the outside of the heel. So feeling grounded and rooted here. Let's do another inhale here. And if you'd like to join me on your exhale, releasing the hands to whatever position they may be in today. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time with those feet feeling grounded, rolling up to our mountain posture. Hips will be facing forward.
And we'll roll those shoulders back, maybe a smile on the face. From here, let's do an inhale up, maybe a slight back bend if you feel warm. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more nice deep breath, coming back to the breath. Inhaling, arms high, maybe a slight back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's just hold this for a moment. Feel free to close the eyes if you'd like. Maybe feeling warmth in the body. Noticing the sensation of your feet against the mat. And if at any time your mind wanders during our practice, I encourage you to come back to your breath or the sound of my voice to guide you. From here, slowly releasing the hands down, this time preparing for some movement. Inhaling, arms high. And then I'm going to exhale, bending at the waist, forward fold. We're going to do this a couple times. I'm going to show these variations. Micro bend in the knee is fine here. I'm going to inhale halfway up, flat back, hands there very gently on the shins. Exhale down, and then using the strength of the abs and the legs, inhaling back up. We're going to do this again. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, circle sweep, arms high, maybe a back bend if you feel warm. Exhale, bending at the waist, deep forward fold. Fingers on the mat or the shins, and I inhale up, flat back. Again, hands gently on the shins. Releasing to the mat, inhale, circle sweep, arms high. We do this one last time before we move into plank. Exhale, hands to heart center. You know what's coming. I'm going to inhale, circle sweep, big breath, biggest breath you've had of the day. Exhale, bending at the waist, once again, forward fold. This time, inhaling halfway up, exhaling down, and I'm going to prepare for plank. So I'm going to start to walk my hands in front of me. Now remembering, if this isn't an option to come to the knees, perfectly fine. Otherwise, you're welcome to stay on the toes. If you're on the knees or on the toes, from here, slowly exhaling down. And let's go ahead and inhale up to cobra, upward facing dog, really feeling this in the back. Exhaling down, and once again find ourselves in downward facing dog. Remembering, if that's not an option, you are welcome to stay in your tabletop position. But if you are in downward facing dog, let's go ahead just like we did several moments ago. Left foot on the mat. I'm going to inhale that right leg high, and then I'm going to bend that knee. Exhale, bringing that right foot forward and through. From here, I'm going to release the left knee to the mat, making sure that that right knee is at a 90-degree angle. From here, inhale, arms high, maybe a smile on the face, opening up in the chest. And then I'm going to show some variations. I'm going to bring my hands to heart center. Now you're welcome to stay here, or if you would like to bring a twist, I'm going to start to place that left elbow just above the knee. We don't want to be right on the knee. Just see how that feels in the body. Maybe bringing the gaze up and over the shoulder, making sure that we keep the integrity of the posture with that right knee at a 90-degree angle. Notice as you do this posture, are you clenching in the jaw? Have you lost the breath? Continue to breathe here. Inhale, slowly starting to come back up using the strength of the abs. And then on an exhale, bringing those fingertips down to the mat. And then I'm going to encourage you to slowly start to come back. Inhaling up, remembering that we're going to flex the foot here and micro bend in the knee is fine. And then exhale, seeing if I can bring that forehead just a little closer to that shin. I'm on my spider fingers. Inhale, growing tall. And exhale, releasing down. Just working that out for a moment. Let's do 2 more slow and steady breath cycles here, always remembering you're welcome to stay in a posture longer if you would like. On your second exhale, let's go ahead and release that right foot to the mat. I'm going to place my right and my left hand very firmly on the inside and the outside of that right foot. I'm coming up on that left knee, and I'm going to inhale that right leg high, and then exhale that foot down. And let's just walk the dog for a moment. So once again, gentle reminder, just bending the knees and my shoulders are out of the ears, inverted V. Preparing for the other side, this time my right foot's very firmly planted on the mat. I'm going to inhale that left leg high, bend that knee generously. On your exhale, bringing that foot forward and through, and then releasing the right knee to the mat. Once again, making sure I have 90 degrees with the knee. Inhale, shoulders out of the ears, maybe opening up in the chest, nice heart opener here. Maybe a smile on the face. And on an exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Once again, you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to try the prayer twist, starting to bring some movement here. Right elbow hooking just above that left knee. I don't want to be right on top of the knee joint. And maybe bringing the gaze up and over the left shoulder. Again, find the variation that works for you. Continuing to notice your inhale and your exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale here. On your exhale, slowly releasing down, coming back to prayer. Inhale, exhale, fingertips to the mat, and then slowly releasing back. Again, bringing the foot up and off the mat, flexing the foot, and micro bend in the left knee is fine. And as I inhale, I grow tall. And as I exhale, I see if I can get that forehead just a little bit closer to that shin. Again, find what works for you. Feel free to bend the knee deeply if you'd like. I'm going to hold this for several breaths. Let's do one more. Inhale here. Exhale, releasing that left foot to the mat. Once again, placing the left hand and the right hand very firmly on the mat. Inhaling, keeping that right knee high. And on my exhale, I'm going to bring that left leg high, and then slowly bringing that foot back to the mat. From here, you can walk or jump your feet to the front of the mat. And I'm going to inhale halfway up, flat back, remembering I can have a micro bend in the knee. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, feet firmly planted, growing tall. Hands to heart center. Exhaling down. Once again, let's just find the breath for a moment. We may be noticing some heat in the body. Inhaling. Exhaling here. From here, if you'd like, micro bend in that left knee. And I'm going to bring that right knee to a 90-degree angle. Now you're welcome to keep the right toes on the mat if that's more comfortable. But if you'd like to join me in a one-leg Tadasana, you're welcome to do so, working on balance here, maybe even feeling this in the core. Slowly exhaling that right foot back. And then from here, I'm going to inhale my arms high. And I'm just going to bring some movement. Now again, feel free to bring the right knee to the mat if you would like. But if you'd like to bring some movement with me, I'm slowly going to exhale down, bringing my hands alongside, almost like in an airplane. And then inhaling up, making sure that knee stays at 90 degrees. You may start to feel some heat in the body. Exhale, bending at the waist, remembering the right knee can stay on the mat. Inhaling up. Let's do this 2 more times with your breath. Exhale slowly, almost like you're in a pool of water. There's no need to rush. And inhaling up. We may be feeling some heat in that left thigh. One last time. Exhaling down. Little balance challenge here as well. And then inhaling up. Let's bring those hands to heart center. And then when you're ready, bringing that right foot to meet the left, I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Let's just stretch that out, roll those shoulders, and we'll prepare for the other side. So same thing other side, this time micro bend in that right knee if you would like. That frequently helps with balance. I tend to feel a little more centered and balanced with my hands at heart center. I'm going to start to bring a bend to that left knee. And as a reminder, those toes can stay on the mat, or you're welcome to try one leg Tadasana, 90 degrees with that knee. Inhaling and exhaling here. And then if you'd like to join me slowly on an exhale, bringing that left foot back, left toes behind, high crescent lunge. Once again, inhaling arms high, 90 degrees with that right knee and shoulders out of the ears. If this feels too intense, you are welcome to bring that left knee to the mat as we move. Once again, moving through those airplane arms. On my exhale, I'm going to bend at the waist, exhaling back, just like I'm moving through water. Inhaling up. I'm going to do this a total of 4 times, but please feel free to bring movement to your body that works for you today. Inhaling up, noticing if you're clenching in the face or the jaw. Try to release. We still want to keep that breath slow and steady as we move. I'm going to do this one last time, but again, feel free to stay here longer, or you may already be out of the posture if this was not an option for you today. Once again, I'm going to bring my hands to heart center, and I'm going to prepare to bring that left foot to meet the right. Let's go ahead and shake and move that out. And while we're here, let's go ahead and work on the shoulders and the hands. If you would like, keeping the shoulders out of the ears, I'm going to go ahead and place those hands, and if you don't have the option to make a fist, feel free to go ahead and interlace those thumbs right over left or left over right, or you can interlace those hands together. Noticing how this feels in the body. Again, 4 corners of the feet, and I'm keeping my hips facing forward. If you'd like, on an exhale, maybe starting to bring the gaze up, and maybe bringing the hands slightly off the back or the bottom, wherever they fell. Again, remembering that you can stay with the thumbs. And then slowly bringing the hands back to the bottom or the back and stretching back upright. I'm going to keep my hands interlaced still here, or thumbs. And then slowly I'm going to bring those hands up and over to the right. So I now have my hands on my hip. If they don't reach your hip, feel free to bring it just to the back here. You may start to notice a stretch in the arm. And if you would like, you can start to bring the head towards the shoulder. So we're going to bring the ear down. On an exhale, again, just an option here, would bring a slight bend to the neck. Inhaling and exhaling here. You may start to notice a stretch from the upper neck all the way down the shoulders through the elbow. I'm going to hold this for several breaths. Let's go ahead on an inhale, bringing the neck back upright, and then whatever position my hands are in, slowly bringing them down to the back, and we'll roll those shoulders before we do the left side. So I've released those fingers. There's a reason we did all those wrist movements at the beginning of class. Once again, if you'd like, go ahead and interlace those fingers, the thumbs, or the fingers completely. From here, once again, I'm going to go ahead one more time, looking upright, maybe bringing the hands up and off the bottom or the back, feeling a stretch, shoulders out of the ears. Continue to breathe. Inhale, exhale, releasing the hands back to the back or the bottom. Coming back to a neutral spine, and this time moving the hands to the left. Again, they may be with thumbs, or you may have the fingers interlaced. They can be right there on the back, or you can bring them around to the side. Again, notice how this feels in the body, and remembering that the right and the left side often feel different. You have injuries, please listen to the body as we move through these postures. But if it's an option, once again, bringing the left neck and the left ear, starting to bring it to the shoulder, just slowly releasing. Again, you may feel and notice a stretch growing a little bit deeper in the right side of the neck, down through the shoulder and the arm. Inhaling and exhaling here. Let's go ahead, preparing to come out of this posture. Let's inhale. On an exhale, bringing the neck back upright, and then slowly releasing the hands, and we'll roll those shoulders back. Coming back to the front of the mat, preparing for some more movement. From here, hands at the side, and then I'm going to inhale, circle sweep, arms high. Exhale, forward fold, micro bend in the knee is fine. Inhaling halfway up, flat back. Exhale, placing my hands on the mat, and I'm stepping back to plank. Now I'm going to hold this for a moment. Once again, remembering that you can come to the knees if that's more comfortable. But if you can stay here, just bring an awareness to how this feels in the body. We're going to bring some movement to this. So from this plank, I'm going to exhale into downward facing dog. Now remembering if you're on the knees, you can go ahead and try to come into downward facing dog, or you're welcome to be in a tabletop position. We're going to do this 2 more times. So I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to exhale to plank. Again, remembering that the knees is an option. Working on strength and core balance here. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Nice inverted V, shoulders out of the ears. We're going to do this one last time. Inhale here, and on your exhale, if you would like, exhaling to plank. Again, remembering that coming to the knees is an option. Slowly coming back, exhale, downward facing dog. We've been in that a moment, working on those wrists. Let's go ahead, bringing some movement to those knees. We'll prepare for child's pose in just a moment. So when you're ready, exhaling down to the knees, tabletop, slowly releasing when you're ready, child's pose. Forehead on the mat. You may once again want to come onto the fingertips. You can bring some movement side to side. If you have a block and your hips feel tight, you're also welcome to place that in between the legs. One more inhale here. I'm placing my hands flat. Coming back to a tabletop position. I'm going to prepare for pigeon. So I'm going to go ahead, going into downward facing dog on my exhale, flexing those toes. And I have my left foot on the mat. And then from here, I'm going to inhale that right leg high.
I'm going to bend that knee and I'm going to bring my knee through my hands. Now again, see how this feels. If this feels tight, place a block or maybe a jacket or a blanket between. I'm going to go ahead and release those toes. You can look behind if you'd like. Check the alignment of that foot. You don't want the foot to be splayed to the right or the left. And again, my knee is facing forward. You're also welcome to come up onto your spider fingers. This is a very, very deep hip opener. So again, find the variation that works for you. You can also lie on your back and recline pigeon if that's more comfortable. But if you'd like, some variations here would be to come onto the forearms, maybe noticing how that feels in the body. And then finally, if you would like, you can also bring the hands almost like a pillow, placing the right over the left and just releasing into this. Again, this can also be done on the back in reclining pigeon. You can have the hands upright or be on the fingers. We're going to hold this for several breaths. Feel free to close the eyes. Let's do 2 more breath cycles here, slow and steady. Inhaling and exhaling. On your second exhale, if you have your hands placed almost in a pillow type position or you're on your forearms, I'd like you to slowly start to rise up. Once again, placing the hands, if they aren't there already, on the right and the left side of the body. And I'm going to prepare once again to enter into a downward facing dog. So as I flex those back toes, I'm going to start to bring that left leg up, bringing the right knee along for the ride. And then I'm going to inhale that leg high and then exhale that foot down. And let's just walk that out, maybe involving the hips if you'd like. You can even bring the gaze under the armpit. Very deep opener there, so find the variation that works for you. And then preparing for the other side, this time my right foot's very firmly planted on the mat. And I'm inhaling that left leg high in 3-legged dog. And as I bend that knee on an exhale, I bring that knee forward and through. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and gaze behind as I release those toes, making sure that my foot is in line with my leg. I don't want it to the right or the left. And again, you can stay up on the toe or on the fingers, shoulders out of the ears. Find the variation that works for you. Feel free to place a block or a blanket or a jacket between your legs if that's an option. But if you'd like, again, the variations would be to come onto the forearms, really noticing here how this feels and honoring the difference between the right and the left sides of the body. Sometimes we may feel a little more tight in one side than the other, and we can't go quite as deep as we may in one side. And then finally, if it's an option, I'm going to go ahead and place those hands almost like a pillow right over left. Just reclining here, holding this for several moments. Feel free to close the eyes in whatever variation you found yourself in today. One more inhale here. And then once again on the exhale, if you have the hands on the ground, either the forearms or the hands with your exhale, starting to come back upright, placing the hands very firmly on the inside and the outside of that left knee.
And once again, I'm going to go ahead and flex those right toes, and then starting to bring that left knee up and off the mat. Once again, coming into my three-legged dog, slowly releasing that down, and then let's just go ahead and walk that out. And then from here, let's go ahead and come onto the knees, and we're going to come to sit on the feet. I'm going to move your direction. And we're going to prepare to bring some movement to the right and the left. So I'm on the knees just for a moment, and I'm slowly going to start to rise up, really keeping my hips facing forward and shoulders are out of the ears. From here, I'd like you to inhale, arms high, maybe a slight back bend, and then exhale, hands to heart center. While you're here, if you would like, bringing that left foot up and over, only if this is an option, okay? From here, placing that right hand down gently on the mat, keeping it in line with the shoulder, and then finally, if you would like, bringing that left arm down and around. You can try playing with the gaze here, looking up or down. You're welcome to bring some movements to the wrist. And if you'd like, you can even try opening up. Again, find the variation that works for you. Inhaling and exhaling here. And we're going to prepare to come back upright, but as we do that, I really want you to think about the body parts that we're using. I want you to use your abs, not so much your hands. So on an exhale, releasing, and on an inhale, coming back up, I'm going to bring my right hand to meet the left. And then I'm going to exhale my hands to heart center. And while we're here, let's go ahead, coming into a tabletop position. I'm going to bring my hands out right, left foot still extended. And I'm just going to inhale, looking up. Exhale, release. Let's do this one more time. Inhaling up, micro bend in those elbows is fine. Exhale and release. And let's come to our traditional tabletop position. So I'm going to bring that left knee to meet the right. And then once again, walking those hands back towards the body, coming back up onto the knees. And again, I'm going to inhale, circle sweep, arms high. And I'm going to bring my hands to heart center. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead, extending that right foot, really working to keep the hips facing forward, and right foot is there on the mat, remembering that you're welcome to keep the knees together if that's more comfortable. Then I'm going to inhale, circle sweep, arms high, and on an exhale, bringing those left fingers, left hand down to the mat. Right hand can be up, or if you would like, bringing the right arm, along the side of the body near the ear. You're welcome to bring movement to the wrist. You can try bringing the gaze to the mat and then up to the ceiling. You can also try opening up slightly there in that arm. Again, find the variation that works for you. Let's do this for 2 more breath cycles. Inhaling and exhaling here. When you've had your second exhale, preparing to rise up, really using the strength of the abs. So I'm going to inhale up, bringing the left hand to meet the right, and then exhaling, hands to heart center. And once again, taking a little bit of a twist here on our traditional tabletop position and cat-cow. So I still have that right leg extended if it's an option. And I'm just going to inhale, looking up, and exhale, release, pushing away. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhale, release. I'm going to do this one last time. Inhaling up. And then exhale, release. Coming to a neutral spine, neck is in line. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring that right knee to meet the left. From here, let's go ahead, release back to child's pose. One last child's pose of the day, maybe bringing some movement to the right and the left sides. Coming onto spider fingers if you'd like, feeling that release in the shoulders.
And on an exhale, releasing the hands. Once again, let's slowly start to come up, sitting onto the feet. I'm actually going to prepare for a forward fold, but I'm going to bring those legs down and around the body. Remembering that in our forward folds, I really want you to listen to the body. Use a micro bend in the knee if you would like. But I'm going to start with a very strong, tall spine, crown of the head facing the ceiling. And I'm going to inhale my arms up, feet are flexed, really feeling those legs engaged on the mat. And on my exhale, I'm slowly going to start to reach up and over. Now I want you to listen to where your body starts to bend, right? So we want to try to keep a straight spine. Of course it's going to bend, but you might be surprised where it starts to bend. Wherever that is, feel free to bring those hands there. It could be on the thighs, the shins, or the feet, and just hold that for a moment. Hands could even be on the mat. And then when you're ready and you'd like to fall more into this posture, I encourage you to inhale, looking up, straightening in that spine, and then exhale, releasing. You're going to start to notice that spine curve. Again, use your breath. Inhale, growing tall, and exhale, release. We're going to hold this for several moments. Just releasing into the posture. Feel free to close the eyes. Let's do 2 more breath cycles here. Inhaling and exhaling. On your second exhale, releasing those hands from whatever position they may be in and slowly starting to come back upright just for a moment. And then let's roll those shoulders. I'm going to place the hands, fingers spread wide behind me. I'm just going to bend those knees. We've done some hip openers. You may be feeling some tension in the back. I'm just going to roll right and left, just working out in the back. Maybe feeling this in the hips. Let's do this a couple more times each side, just evening out the right and the left. Remembering at any time, you can stay here if you'd like. But I'm going to prepare to go onto my back. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten and lengthen those legs and start to bring those hands back to the sides of the body. And then slowly starting to bend at the waist, lowering down 1 vertebrae at a time, still really engaging in the abs here. When you reach the mat, let's go ahead and bring the knees into the chest very deeply. Hands placed on the shins, and then if you'd like, slowly rolling to the right and the left. From here, I'm going to go ahead, releasing the hands. I'm going to open them up in a T. Using the strength of the abs, I'm going to go ahead and bring those knees to a 90-degree angle. And on an exhale, I'm going to bring the knees up and over to the right, working to keep the shoulders on the mat. If you'd like, you can place the right hand just very gently there on the thigh, and maybe bringing the gaze up and over to the left, supine twist. We're going to hold this for several breaths, just releasing into the body. Remembering if the knees are further up and you have your feet flat on the mat or the floor, that is perfectly fine. Holding this for several moments. Remembering that you can stay here, or if you'd like, bringing that right hand out, preparing for that T shape.
And then once again, using the strength of the abs, bringing those knees back to center. On an exhale, your exhale, bringing those knees up and over to the left. Again, options here be to place the left hand very gently there on the thigh, and maybe bringing the gaze up and over the right shoulder. Feel free to close the eyes here. Taking a few moments to notice the inhale and the exhale. Let's do one more inhale and exhale here. When you're ready, bringing the left arm out to the T. And once again, preparing to bring those knees back to center with your inhale, using the strength of the abs. And when you reach the center, once again, let's go ahead and bring those hands just very gently on the shins. And I'm just going to roll to the right and the left, working out in the spine, just feeling a release in the back body. And if there's any final postures your body may want now, like happy baby, or legs up the wall, or maybe a bridge pose, you're welcome to do so. Or if you'd like to join me in Shavasana, or our final resting posture, you're welcome to now. If you'd like, releasing the legs to the mat, allowing them just to splay open naturally, finding what's comfortable for you. The hands can be at the side, palms facing up, or if you would like, placing one hand on the heart and another on the belly. As you release into this posture, I encourage you to focus on the breath and maybe bring in awareness to the intention or mantra that you set at the start of our practice. Feel free to keep the eyes open if lowering the gaze or closing the eyes isn't an option. And we'll stay here for several moments, focusing on the breath. I invite you to stay here in Shavasana, our final resting posture, as long as you'd like. But if you'd like to slowly be guided out of the practice, feel free to keep the eyes closed. And maybe start to notice the breath. Notice your inhale and your exhale. Without opening the eyes, you may start to notice any sounds around you. Just involving your senses. Possibly starting to notice the sensation of any air against the skin, any breeze that you may experience. And then maybe noticing your place on the mat, where your body touches the mat. And then maybe bringing an awareness to the place in the room where you lay on the mat. Reminding you as you breathe, you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like, to slowly bring some small movements to the fingers and the toes. Once again, reminding you the eyes can be open, or feel free to keep the gaze lowered or the eyes closed. If the small movements in the fingers and the toes feels comfortable, you could start to bring some movement to the wrists and the ankles. You could point and flex the feet, or maybe make circles with the wrists. Again, you can stay here for several more moments, or if you'd like to roll to the right or left side, maybe using your jacket or your arm as a pillow, bringing a bend in the knees. Again, you can stay here for several moments. Gaze can stay lowered or eyes closed if you'd like. And I invite you to take a seated cross-legged position when you're comfortable. Right over left or left over right. Remembering that you can keep the eyes closed or gaze lowered. I'm going to place my hands just very gently right above the knees. Let's just come back to the breath for a moment. Several more deep inhales and exhales. Allowing the breath to move through the body. And if you'd like, joining me with hands at heart center. Thank you for joining me. I hope the strength, flexibility, and fun that we've cultivated in class will follow you throughout the rest of your day. Namaste.